Introducing my newest purchase, the Cricut Hat Heat Press for attaching heat vinyl to fabric. This is the rounded iron portion. It has a Teflon coating, it looks like, on the actual iron itself. And those are the buttons that I'll figure out later. And it comes with a stand, so you can just put the iron straight down on it. The small little roll of heat tape to try to attach your transfer to the hat. The extremely heavy hat mold for the press. I think it says it's walnut shells inside. So you can imagine it's like a dense ball. So here's an example of what I'm printing on the Cricut. A logo for Blacksmith Association. So I've printed it and now I am going to be weeding it. And this is at 2 times the speed, just so you know. I am definitely not that fast at this yet. So I'm just going to cut this little portion off so that I have less to handle. Because I just did like a 4.5 inch printout. So as you can see, I'm just going to keep trying to weed. I find it easier when it's still on the mat sometimes, just so that there's a little bit of a grip. It depends at what point of the weeding process I'm at, but at the moment, definitely it's easier to have a little extra stick somewhere. That's my little tidbit. Not that I'm in any way an expert yet. Now going for the really big pull and hoping I can get at a whole whack of it quickly. And I am using the Cricut brand heat transfer vinyl for this portion. I do use the sizer as well, but I do find when you use the Cricut printer or cutter to cut out the shapes, the pressure is a little funky. I haven't quite gotten that down to a clean transfer yet. Some of the letters will sometimes pop out partially, so it's a little fussy. I can usually hold it together, but it is slightly awkward. So at the moment, I still would recommend using name brand with name brand. But if I do come up with the right pressure, I will definitely share it with everyone. Yay, we did. So here's just a really fast screenshot with my machine off of the app that I downloaded for the phone. You can download it for any of your electronic devices, but it is a Bluetooth app that connects to the actual iron itself, which is pretty neat. And you tell it what material you're using, like what the hat's made out of, and what you're transferring, obviously. And that's it. It'll have you warm up the hat for 5 seconds. So you push the go button, the arrow button once, and it'll give you 5 seconds in beep. And then the next round will give you 60 seconds. So now I'm just going to try to line it up well. And of course I picked a slightly awkward shape. And I probably could have cut it a little closer to make it a little easier. And I'm being brave and not using it with tape because it's already hot. It's sort of stuck a little bit, but I'd probably suggest putting like just one piece of tape across just to secure it somewhat, but I don't think it really needs a bunch of tape, honestly. Now, from watching other people's videos after I did this, realized for the most part you're just supposed to sort of keep it in one place mostly. I kept going over it, so I had a little bit more of a hard time transferring. So try to keep it in its one place for the 60 seconds. And here I'm putting something on the back side of that as well, which wasn't so bad. And of course I'm going over the seams, so it does affect the outcome at the end, because you sort of melt the heat transfer vinyl into the seam somewhat. So just keep that in mind with your placement of designs. And this was on a polyester hat, just so you know. I did do it on a cotton hat, which I will show you after. It'll be the camo hat that you'll see in the screenshot next. As you can see, I'm trying to pull it off, but some of it is still attached, so I'm going to go over it again. This one peeled off, not too bad. The little bits that did pop there, I will go over it again. As you can see, some of it sticks and some of it doesn't. So obviously, I haven't quite hit my learning curve on getting it all off quite yet. So I'm snipping it to try to get the plastic a little closer and a little easier to handle. Let's see if I can separate it a little bit. There we go. I found by the brim was where it sort of fell apart a bit more. Obviously, I didn't get close enough, so I am going to apply some more heat though. I'm going to take that plastic and utilize it, I think. Because you obviously do not want to put the iron directly on the vinyl. That would stick. So you do need something between you and the vinyl. Either a Teflon sheet or, you know, like what I'm doing here where I'm just reusing the plastic itself. And you are supposed to let it cool, FYI. I would say take it off the hat shape because that retains the heat quite a bit. So if you're impatient like I am, just pop the hat off to let it cool faster. As you can see, I'm just putting that back on, ending the section. Yay. I'm sorry for the weird angles. It is an awkward shape, the hat press ball. So here's the Teflon sheet that I use. It's like a cookie sheet. Just works great for between irons in general. Sort of the equivalent of never-ending um, parchment paper. And there we go. Yay. It's as good as it's going to get. That for my first try for a hat, I think it came out pretty sharp. Clearly see the logo. Clean image for the most part. Like I said, you can see the seam down the side, but there's really no way to avoid that if you are using that portion of the hat. So you just have to take that into account into your design. So as you can see, the camo one did a slightly different design, and that was with silver from the Sizer brand. Anyway, please let me know if you would like to see more Cricut videos, and ta-ta for now.